I was saying, I didn't get a 1 rep max for my squat, but I did hit, like I said, several PRs throughout the program. And also my kind of last heaviest set was a 380 for 5 squat, which was a 5-pound PR for a 5 rep max for me. I definitely think I made progress on that. Same thing with bench press. I really made a lot of progress there. Again, the 270 mark that I was going for is going to be a touch and go. But I decided to do a pause bench test out, because I think that would be a little bit better indicator of where my powerlifting strength is. I hit a 250, which in all honesty is probably a 15-ish pound PR for me if I'm looking at where I started this program off of. And the 465 deadlift max, I hit a 455. So again, and who knows if I would have hit that 465. I just went for 455 because I thought I definitely had that in me. And it was a pretty grindy lift. So, but overall, I, again, couldn't really tell you exactly how much I gained on my squat and my bench press, but I PR'd probably, I'd say, at least 5 times on, you know, again, with a 3-rep max or a close grip PR or a pause PR. I mean, almost every single week with even my squats, which never really felt that awesome during this training cycle, I would PR. Even if I felt like crap, I'd PR on high bar or I'd PR on pause squats for a set, which again is a cool part of doing the variety of lifts. Is you'll just find some days your normal squat feels like crap, high bar feels good. So each kind of session, and again, you can apply that to the other 2 lifts. Each kind of session, you have other things to look forward to. Like, man, my normal deads didn't feel good, but I killed those deficits. So each day, it really helps you to keep motivated to know that you literally can PR at least once per day, considering all the lifts you're doing. And again, keeping you motivated and keeping you strong in a variety of areas, which I thought was really cool. Some other things I wanted to briefly talk about. Don't be afraid to adjust. Is something I thought was I talked about the exercises. If you think something's contraindicated or you don't think it's going to be beneficial, like if you're a high bar squatter doing more high bar squats, maybe redundant, so do like a front squat or something. Like I said, the good example for me was deficit deadlifts. I just didn't think they were helping me as much as they were probably hurting me throughout the program. The bench press I never really had an issue with. I really liked the variety of touch and go, close grip and pause, I think is how it went. The close grip really helped me, just kind of helped me with some lockout stuff, and I was a lot stronger with close grip than I thought I would be. So it was pretty cool there. And the weight is the number one thing I wanted to talk about to adjust. I've talked about this in my other videos, but again, if you haven't seen those, you wouldn't know this. I'm not a huge fan of strict percentage work stuff because, again, you're not a robot. There's going to be days where you're feeling really good. There's going to be days you're feeling awesome, or, crappy. There's going to be days you're feeling just kind of like average. And your training should probably dictate that to a little bit. Of course, if you're really trying to get super strong, there's going to be days where you don't want to go in and lift. You feel like crap. You're just going to have to. And then usually finish your workout, like, okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. That's usually how it goes. But there are other times where maybe warming up and say you even go for your top set, like it's 385 or a triple or something, and you hit it for a single and you barely get it, don't try to hit a double or triple. Don't just rack the weight, back off, 10, 15%, whatever you need, and get some work in. That is a lot better, in my opinion, than constantly missing reps, than being fatigued, and psychologically being like, crap, I don't think I can hit this weight. And again, it's just a cycle you want to get yourself into. Same token, especially on like your max effort days, I really think it's important, say if it's your 3rd week on this program, even if you're, again, easing yourself into it, you don't have to try to set like a new 1-rep max. But I think the max effort for, say again, like a 3-rep for the 3rd week, when you have your max effort for squat, you're hitting doubles, 5 sets of 2. So again, I think my weight says here there was a 355. Let's hit 355 for a double. So what I did, the first set hit 355, then hit 365, 375, and I just kind of went up from there because I felt good. Again, especially in those max effort days, not so much on the rep days and the explosive days, because again, the rep days you're not going to want to increase the weight much, and the explosive days I think you should probably just keep there. But the max effort days, I really think you need to auto-regulate that. If you're feeling good, go for it. If you're not, don't be afraid to back off a little bit. Yeah, I think that's just about it with everything, guys. Overall, kind of succinctly talk about the program in like a minute. I really liked it. I really liked, again, the variety of the movements, the assistance work, the bodybuilding day. If you only train 4 days a week, I like the specificity of the program. How there's not a lot of frou crap. It's doing the lifts, a little bit of assistance work, and get out. Most of my training sessions didn't take a really long time. It was a lot shorter than my typical training sessions. Usually by the time I actually got in the gym outside my warm up, it was about an hour and 15 minutes, which is, I usually probably go about hour and a half, hour and 45. So again, a little bit faster, which I really liked, especially when I was in school. Again, the frequency I didn't like, personally, because I like to train the lifts more frequently and even train more than 4 days a week, which is what I did. But again, if you don't have a lot of time, if you don't think you can recover from that, if you're making perfectly fine gains with 1 time per week on the big lifts, there's nothing wrong with running this program. And like I said, I PR'd throughout the whole thing. I believe personally that I know I got stronger with bench press. I believe if I would have been healthy, I could have hit greater than 415 squat and a 20-pound PR on deadlift for me throughout the 8 weeks. And like I said, I treated the last wave as a test. So pretty much for week 7, I did a deadlift. Maybe I did on week 7 I did. Let me just make sure I got this correct. Week 7, I did a max effort test on deadlift. Week 8, I did a max effort test on bench press. And then week 9, I was attempting to do a max effort on squat, but there's no way in hell I was going to do that. So yeah, if you're not doing a meet, that's a good way to do it. Because if you look at the program, when you get the book or wherever you can find it, it'll make sense because it's built up like that. The volume starts high and it starts to decrease. And the last week is kind of the last wave is kind of used as like a tester for your meet. But again, if you're not doing a meet, I think you should set your training max a little bit higher and use those last 3 weeks as a good test. So yeah, that's kind of my review and thoughts and stuff on the Q method, guys. Again, if you want some more information, definitely check out Brandon Lilly's Facebook page and YouTube and all that stuff. He might still be with JST Strength with like Dan Green and those guys, a good resource as well. And check out, I think there's a Q book. There may be. Check out that book if there is one. Or you can check out 365 Strong. That's the book that I use, an ebook that I use to get the program.